Hey, Silas here. Just a quick video on appearances. I'm out here in Madison Square Park, doing some drawing. Try to do this thing, go out once in a while and just draw some stuff and get some vitamin D from the sun. Okay, so this thing on appearances. I just had somebody come up and ask me if they could take pictures of me drawing. This was a student from SVA, which is School of Visual Arts. I thought she was asking actually where SVA was. I was trying to tell her where it was. But she was a youngish Asian person, college age, so I guess probably in her 20s. Can't really tell these Asian people. It's not a thing, appearances. How do you tell ages of certain people? But she came up and asked me if she could take pictures of me drawing, and I said, yeah. Now, if I wasn't drawing, would she have asked me? You know, chances of just having, there's a funny meme about somebody knew something was wrong when he saw a white woman running up to a black guy, and you know, like that, just a random Asian person just stopping and asking, hey, can I take pictures of you? Now, why did I say yes? I mean, I said yes because it's generally a harmless thing, but I've in the past been out, I like to draw, I like drawing in public. I occasionally see people that I wouldn't mind drawing, and I kind of wonder, how would I go about asking them? Like, if you see a female with, like, I'm really obsessed with eyes, and you occasionally see somebody with really amazing eyes, just a really cool look, and I think, like, okay, how can I ask them if I can take a photo of them to draw them later, or if I can just sit there and sketch them? You know, it might come off odd, and I was also thinking, like, as a big black guy, how would that come off? They might think it's kind of off. Now, if I'm sitting here drawing and somebody sits next to me, and I ask them, can I take a photo of you? They'd probably be able to say, okay, look, I see you drawing, so it doesn't seem as sketchy as it might have been. Part of why I was so open with her taking those drawings is I've had that experience of wondering, how do you draw someone, how do you take an image of somebody who's in public? Now, on top of that, if you're just in public, do you really even have, I could have just drawn this at home, do I have the right, or not the right, or at least the expectation? When you're in public, you lose the expectation of some kind of privacy or something else. Well, after she took the photo, she asked me if I wanted to see what the photo was like. And now that is just a recent thing, the fact that you can take a photo and see immediately what's going to be like, because you remember photos used to be a thing where you just took the photo and then you had to send it off to get developed. It's like 24 images, you don't know what kind of photos came out. But I said, no, I don't need to actually see it. Some soccer hooligans or something back there. But anyway, so for me, I was like, no, I don't really care. She's at the art school. I don't really care what's going to happen to those photos out here in public. If she just took these photos just in general, like clandestinely without me knowing, I wouldn't really have cared either. So now you're taking that to the other level now with the political strife going on in America, the social atmosphere. I talked to certain people and they want to do something like what I did just a few days ago, which was go out and film this video for this Alex Jones contest, this folk song contest. I'll definitely post some more about that later. But one of the people I was with was kind of a smaller guy, and he was like, he's worried about walking around to these different locations and getting attacked because people were wearing Make America Great Again hats, were singing this song. And he's accurate to have worried about that since we know people that have been attacked. I was just at the Jovi Val's Scars and Stripes rally because he had been attacked. He'd been out in public with a MAGA hat on, Make America Great hat on, and that ended up with him getting smashed in the face with a bottle. And now for me, as a big black guy, I'm not really that worried about that in certain areas, like Trump Tower, going to like Columbus Circle. In these areas, it's not going to happen. Even if it was by myself, but we're with a group of people. So I told him, it's nothing to worry about. But now, at that same Jovi Val concert, there was somebody who was talking about how he had white privilege, and he felt that, he asked me, do you feel scared when you see cops? And it depends on where I am, it depends on what I'm dressed in, it depends on what I'm doing, and in general, I'm not really that worried about cops. So I asked him, if you're talking about white privilege, which again is insulting, because I told him that's an insulting thing to say. If he is claiming white privilege, he's claiming to just have some level higher than me, because you can't be privileged over something and not better than that thing. I mean, if you think you can, explain that in the comment section and leave that. But anyway, so going back to it, I told him I was wearing this shirt I got from the inauguration, this Donald Trump 45th president shirt. Now I told him, if he wears that shirt and goes up to 145th, which is up I think in Harlem area, and I asked him, what do you think would happen if he wore this shirt and went up and stood in a corner out there? He said he'd get beat up. Then I asked him, what do you think would happen if I went there and wore this shirt? He paused a bit and said, oh, you wouldn't get treated that well. And I told him I probably wouldn't even get touched. Now, first of all, the assumption that he thought he was going to get beat up, that shows what he thinks about black people in general, because I don't think he'd get beat up. I think people would ask him, would say things to him, but I don't think it would actually be a danger thing. Same to me up there, but I think that appearance situation is more of it's a situational thing. It's not like across the board, everywhere you go, you got to be treated in a certain way. That person who came and asked me to take a photo was an Asian in her probably lower 20s. She could have, I don't know. But she doesn't seem to be someone who would do anything questionable with that photo or with that request. So she comes out and it appears in a certain way, and trying to pretend that appearances don't matter is not something we're going to do here. But at the same time, I think we need to understand how much they matter. We need to understand, why is it in a situation where people who are just supporting the president, who are worried about, if I'm sharing this in a chat, I'm sharing this on Facebook, if I'm sharing this in a public place, somebody can take what I've said, spin it out of context, and try and make my life a worse place. Try to bring physical harm to myself, trying to take me out of my job. And I think that's an unfortunate thing, that a lot of really good people have to think about this when they're just going about with their daily lives. So let me know if you've had any of these situations where you had to worry about your personal appearance, or if you've had a situation recently where you thought, if the person doing that was, okay, just for example, if somebody who comes up to you is like a 5 foot tall, 100 and something pound female asks you a question, versus if that same question, that same situation involving a 6'5", 250 pound black guy asking the same situation, would you react to it in the same way? Why not? Should you not? But yeah, so that's it for now. Like, share, and subscribe. There's another bus of people. I'm not sure what those people are doing, but till next video, bye.